Who am I when I am useful to nobody? Know thyself. Written and narrated by Peter J. Merrick. A.K.A. just an old fart trying to make sense of this beautiful and fucked up mysterious thing we call life, one lesson at a time. This is very difficult for me to write. I already know it is going to be even more difficult for me to record this audio video. I don't even know why I am doing this. I don't know whether putting these words onto a page has any utility for me, or whether sharing them has any utility for you. Maybe nobody needs to hear this. Maybe I simply need to say it. I don't fucking know. Those may be the most truthful words I have tonight. Usually I wait until I understand an experience before I write about it. I take it apart, sit with it, take stock, and eventually find enough meaning to retool and move forward a little more expanded. But I don't understand this. It happened only a few hours ago. I'm not writing from the scar. I'm writing from whatever the fuck this is before the scar has even formed. Maybe tomorrow I will understand it differently. Maybe next week. Maybe months from now. Maybe I never fucking will. A little after 2 o'clock this afternoon, I almost fucking died. And the strange thing is that about an hour earlier, I had been swimming. I had spent much of the day trying to understand something that had happened over the previous few days. I had analyzed it, dissected it, looked at myself inside it, and exhausted myself trying to force meaning out of something I still didn't understand. Apparently, this old fart still believes that if he thinks about something long enough, eventually life will surrender the fucking answer. It didn't. So I got into the water, stroke after stroke. The noise slowly disappeared. Somewhere inside that silence, something unexpected washed over me. Gratitude. Pure fucking gratitude. Another human being had recently given me an environment where I allowed myself to experience something I had almost forgotten. For years, solitude had become one of the places where I protected my internal peace. Alone was safe. Alone was predictable. Alone meant nobody could disturb the peace I had fought so fucking hard to find. Then another human being entered that space, and somehow I remained peaceful. That surprised me. Maybe I did not need solitude to regulate myself. Maybe I could allow another human being close, allow myself to be touched, allow myself to be seen, and still remain me. That realization washed over me in the pool. For the first time that day, I stopped trying to understand what everything meant. I was simply grateful. If all life gave me was those moments, thank you for the moments. If there is another chapter, time will reveal it. And if there isn't, thank you anyway, stroke after stroke. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I left the pool peaceful. About an hour later, I almost fucking died. I got off at the trolley station in La Jolla, part of San Diego. I was heading out to buy a few groceries. That was the plan. Swim, buy groceries, go home, and nothing profound, nothing dangerous. Just another ordinary afternoon in the life of this old fart. Then I saw the trolley approaching the station, and I saw someone else. A disabled person in an electric wheelchair was crossing the tracks. They did not appear to understand what I was seeing. The trolley was coming, fast, and then I moved. That is the part I cannot fucking understand. There was no thought, no calculation, no decision. I did not think about my children, my mother, my sisters, my clients, my business partners, or the books I am writing and still want to write. I did not think about myself. I fucking ran. I reached the wheelchair and pushed hard. We made it across. The trolley missed us by a half a foot, and then nothing. No fucking movie moment, no music, no hug, no heroic bullshit. The person looked at me, and I looked at them. They appeared shocked, perhaps even angry that some strange man had suddenly grabbed their wheelchair and pushed them. I don't blame them. They didn't understand what had just happened, and neither did I. We didn't exchange names. We didn't have some profound conversation about life. Two complete strangers looked at one another, and then I walked away. I need to say something here. I am not a hero. Please don't make me one. I am not special. There was no noble thought running through my head. There was no conscious decision to sacrifice myself for another human being. There was no fucking decision. Something happened and my body moved. Maybe thousands of other people would have done exactly the same thing. I don't know. I went grocery shopping. There is something almost absurd about writing that sentence. I had just come within seconds of possibly losing my life, and apparently this old fart still needed fucking groceries, except I had lost my appetite. I quickly bought a few things. Approximately 20 minutes later, I returned to the same station, the same platform, the same fucking tracks, and I stared at them. I don't know how long. I just stared. 20 minutes earlier, I had run onto those tracks without thinking. Now, I couldn't stop looking at them. A few feet, a few seconds. That was apparently the distance between the man standing there holding his groceries and the possibility that he never came home. My children could have lost their father. My mother could have lost her son. And my sisters could have lost their brother. My clients could have lost their advisor. And my business partners could have lost someone who had made commitments to them. The unfinished books sitting on my computer would have remained unfinished. No final chapter and no final sentence, no final word, because the man who was supposed to write them would have been fucking dead. I stared at those tracks. Something inside me recoiled. I never want to come back to this fucking station again. That was when it began hitting me. Not when I ran, not when I pushed the wheelchair, not when the trolley passed. It hit me standing there afterward, holding a few fucking groceries, staring at the tracks. I could have died. For fuck's sake, I could have fucking died. And standing there, everything I had been doing suddenly felt small. Everything I had accomplished, everything I had worried about, everything I was planning, everything I thought I still needed to prove. Small, not meaningless, small. That distinction matters. My work, my books, my commitments, and the things I have accomplished still matter, but their size changed. Standing there staring at those tracks, none of them could buy another second, and none of them could stop that trolley. None of them could finish an unfinished sentence if I wasn't here to type the next fucking word. And as all those big things became smaller, the small things became enormous. People, moments, a conversation, a laugh, a hand, a touch, someone listening, someone simply sitting beside me, someone making me feel, even for a moment, less alone. Those were the things suddenly occupying my mind. Not achievements, not recognition, not all the little monuments we spend our lives constructing so someday we can point toward them and say, look, I mattered. People, just fucking people, because there are people who passed through my life whose ordinary presence made an extraordinary difference in mine. Some stayed for years, some for months, some perhaps only for moments, and some of them probably have no fucking idea what they gave me. Maybe they listened, maybe they laughed with me, maybe they sat beside me, maybe they touched me, maybe for a little while they made me feel seen and made me feel less alone. And suddenly I had this burning need to tell them, you mattered to me. Your presence mattered. I should have fucking told you. There are people I can still tell, and there are people I can't. That hurts. Maybe I assumed they knew. Maybe I assumed there would always be another conversation, another dinner, another telephone call, another opportunity. Someday, this afternoon, a fucking trolley taught me how arrogant the word someday can be. And yet, I came home to Little Italy. I put down my groceries. I sat down. The phone was beside me, and I called nobody, not one person. I didn't send a message. I didn't tell a single person whose face was moving through my mind what their presence had meant to me. I did nothing. I sat there paralyzed. That may be one of the strangest contradictions of this entire fucking day. A few hours earlier, I ran toward a moving trolley without thinking. Tonight, I cannot make myself reach for a telephone. I don't know why. Maybe I am in shock. Maybe my mind is still trying to catch up with what my body did. Maybe I need time. I don't fucking know. So I write. That is how my mind processes things. I put words onto a page, move them around, stare at them, and hope eventually they show me something I couldn't see before. Usually they do. Tonight, they aren't showing me much, and somewhere inside all of this is the contradiction I cannot escape. This afternoon, I apparently saw enough value in the life of a complete stranger to run toward a moving trolley without thinking. I didn't know their name, their story, or what they had accomplished. I didn't know whether anybody needed them. None of it fucking mattered. They were a human being, and apparently that was enough. Yet, only hours later, sitting alone in Little Italy, I found myself trying to explain the value of my own life by listing all the people who rely upon me: father, son, brother, advisor, business partner, writer, mentor, useful. Then I saw it. Almost every reason I immediately produced for why my life mattered was connected to what somebody else would lose, what I did, what I provided, what somebody needed from me, my utility. Fuck. Take it away. Take away the business, the clients, the books, the knowledge, the accomplishments, and everybody who needs something from me. And leave one man standing there, Peter, nothing to prove, nothing to provide, nothing to fix, nothing anybody needs from him. This afternoon, the life of a complete stranger required no resume before I decided it was worth protecting. They were human, and that was enough. So why is it so fucking difficult for me to offer myself the same thing? I don't know. Maybe that frightens me more than the trolley. I don't understand the man who ran onto those tracks, and I am beginning to realize I may not completely understand the man who came home from them either. I am not saying the first man was brave, and I am not saying the second man is broken. I am saying something considerably more humbling. I don't know either of them as well as I thought I did. Maybe tomorrow I will. Maybe months from now. Maybe years. Maybe never completely. That possibility frightens me, because perhaps know thyself doesn't begin when we finally discover who we are. Maybe it begins when something tears open the person we thought we were, and we resist the temptation to close it again with a convenient fucking answer. Tonight, I don't have one. I have the pool, gratitude, a trolley, and a stranger. I have train tracks I cannot stop seeing. I have a bag of groceries and a telephone I cannot make myself pick up. And I have one question: who am I when I am useful to nobody? I don't fucking know. Not yet. I am still sitting here. The phone is beside me. I still haven't called anyone. Not one person. That is the truth. After everything that happened this afternoon, after staring at those fucking tracks, after coming home thinking about all the people whose presence had touched my life, I have reached out to nobody. I know who I want to thank. I know what I want to say. And still, I sit here alone, A few hours ago, I ran toward a moving trolley without thinking. Tonight, I cannot make myself reach for the fucking telephone. I don't know what to do with that contradiction. Maybe I am in shock. Maybe my mind is still trying to catch up with what my body did this afternoon. Maybe I need time. I don't fucking know. And I don't want to manufacture some psychological explanation simply because an explanation would make me more comfortable. I don't know why I ran. I don't know why I am sitting here now. That is why I'm writing. Writing is how my mind processes things. I put words onto a page, move them around, stare at them, and sometimes eventually they show me something I couldn't see before. I take stock, I retool, I try to move forward, expanded, but tonight the words aren't giving me an answer. Maybe they aren't supposed to. I keep seeing those tracks. I keep seeing the person in the electric wheelchair. I keep seeing the trolley coming, and I keep trying to find the moment when I decided to run. There wasn't one. At least, I cannot remember one. My body moved. I ran. I reached the wheelchair. I pushed. We crossed. The trolley passed. That actually fucking happened this afternoon. And sitting here in Little Italy, part of me still cannot completely understand that the man running toward those tracks was me. A few seconds differently, and I wouldn't be writing this. My children could have lost their father. My mother could have lost her son. And my sisters could have lost their brother. My clients could have lost their advisor. My business partners could have lost someone who had made commitments to them. And every unfinished sentence sitting on this computer would have remained unfinished. No final chapter, no final sentence, no final word. Because the man who was supposed to write them would have been fucking dead. That is still difficult for me to type. And somehow I went grocery shopping. Life almost ended. Then life just fucking continued. I walked around a grocery store. I picked up a few things and realized I had lost my appetite. Approximately 20 minutes later, carrying those groceries, I returned to Nobel Drive trolley station, and I stared at the tracks. I don't know how long. I just stared. 20 minutes earlier, my body had run onto those tracks without hesitation. Now my mind couldn't stop looking at them. A few seconds. That was all, standing there. Everything I had been doing and everything I had accomplished suddenly felt so fucking small. Not meaningless, small. My work still matters. My books still matter. My commitments still matter, but their size changed. All those things we spend years building, the accomplishments, the recognition, the plans, the little monuments we construct around ourselves as evidence that somehow we mattered. Standing there, none of them could buy another second. None of them could stop that trolley. And as those big things became smaller, the smallest things became enormous. A conversation, a laugh, a hand, a touch, someone listening, someone sitting beside me, someone making me feel, even for a moment, less alone. People, that is what fills my mind tonight. People. Maybe mortality changes the scale. At least it did for me today, because there are people who passed through my life who probably have no idea what they gave me. Some stayed for years, some for months, some perhaps only for moments. Maybe they didn't do anything extraordinary. Maybe they simply sat beside me. Maybe they listened. Maybe they laughed. Maybe they touched me. Maybe they made me feel seen. Maybe they made me feel less alone. And tonight, those moments feel fucking enormous. I want to tell them, you mattered to me. Your presence mattered. I should have fucking told you. Some I still can. Some I can't. And that hurts. Maybe I assumed there would always be more time. Another conversation. Another dinner. another phone call, another opportunity. Someday, there is that fucking word again. We use it as though somebody promised it to us. Nobody did. I know that tonight. And yet, I still haven't picked up the phone. That may be the most embarrassingly human part of everything I am writing. I almost ran out of time today. And here I am behaving as though I still have plenty of it. The phone is sitting beside me. I know who I want to call. I know what I want to say. And I am doing absolutely nothing. I am sitting here alone. That hurts to write. Because I have spent years learning how to be alone, I became good at it, maybe too fucking good. Solitude gave me peace. It gave me safety. It gave me somewhere nobody could disturb what I had rebuilt inside myself. And then, earlier today, in that swimming pool, I experienced something that challenged all of that. Maybe another human being could enter that space and I could still be peaceful. I could be touched. I could be seen. I could allow someone inside and still remain me. That realization filled me with gratitude. Then an hour later, I was running toward a trolley. What a fucking day. And now I am sitting here wondering whether there is another truth I have to look at. I am alone, but perhaps not all of my loneliness has been done to me. Maybe some of it belongs to me. That is uncomfortable. It is easy to remember the people who left, the people who disappointed me, the people who didn't choose me, the people who didn't see me. It is considerably harder to look at the telephone sitting beside me and acknowledge that tonight I'm the one not reaching for it. I desperately want connection, and I remain sitting alone. Maybe I'm in shock. Maybe I need to process what happened. Maybe tonight I simply don't have the capacity to open another door. I don't know. I'm not going to punish myself for not knowing, but I am going to look at it, because perhaps know thyself requires us to look at the pieces that don't fit the story we tell ourselves. I ran toward a trolley, but I cannot reach for a telephone. I want connection, but I choose solitude. I want to be seen, yet I hide. I want to thank people, yet I remain silent. I can recognize the value of a stranger's life without knowing a single fucking thing about them. Yet I struggle to recognize my own value without listing everything I do for somebody else. Those contradictions are sitting beside me tonight. I don't know how to reconcile them. Maybe I don't need to. Not tonight, because perhaps this is what sits underneath the question. Who am I when I am useful to nobody? Useful is safe. Useful gives me a role. Someone has a problem. I try to solve it. Someone needs advice, I give them what I know. Someone needs a door opened, I try to open it. Someone needs me, and therefore I understand why I have a place in their life. But being needed and being loved are not the same fucking thing. Being respected and being seen are not the same thing. And perhaps being useful can protect us from asking something considerably more frightening. If I had absolutely nothing to give you, would my presence still be enough? And underneath that, would my presence be enough for me? I don't know. I wish I did, but I don't. And I refuse to write yes, because yes would make this a prettier fucking article. It wouldn't make it true. Then I look at the unfinished manuscript sitting in front of me. Love me. Please see me. I have spent countless hours writing those words. I thought I understood them. I thought I was writing about the human condition, that hunger beneath so much of what we do. See me. Not my accomplishment, not my career, not my money, not my intelligence, not my sexuality, not my reputation, not whatever carefully constructed identity I present to the world. Me, love me, please see me. I thought I was writing about everyone else. Tonight, I am beginning to wonder whether this old scribe has also been writing about himself, maybe somewhere underneath all those pages. I have been asking the same thing. Please see me when I have nothing useful to give you. Fuck! That is difficult to write, because before I ask another human being to see that man, I have to confront whether I completely see him myself. Can I look at Peter without explaining his value through everything he has accomplished? Can I look at him without father, son, brother, advisor, business partner, writer, mentor? Can I look at him without usefulness? Just Peter, imperfect, flawed, frightened, lonely, confused, human. Is that enough? I don't fucking know, and I am not going to pretend otherwise. Maybe that is why this is so difficult to write, and why I know it will be difficult to record. I am used to writing after I have taken stock. This time, I am letting you see me before I know what any of this means, before the scar, before the lesson, before the fucking answer. Maybe there won't be one, because I am a scribe. I write to understand. Usually, eventually, the words give me something. Tonight, they haven't. All I know is what happened. I was swimming. I felt gratitude. I left the pool peaceful. I went to buy groceries. I saw a trolley. I saw a human being in a wheelchair. I ran. I pushed. We crossed. I walked away. I bought groceries. I came back. I stared at the tracks. I came home. And now I am sitting here, the telephone beside me, alone. I don't know whether I am in shock. I don't know whether tomorrow I will reach out to the people whose faces keep moving through my mind. I don't know how long it will take me to process what happened. Maybe days, maybe months, maybe I will never completely integrate it. I don't fucking know. There is an observation often attributed to Winston Churchill about people occasionally stumbling over the truth, then quickly picking themselves up and hurrying along as though nothing happened. I don't want to hurry along. Not this time. I don't want to turn what happened today into a heroic story or an inspirational story or some neat little fucking lesson about appreciating life. I want to sit here. I want to take stock. I want to allow myself to be confused. Maybe there is a lesson. I don't know what it is yet. Tonight, all I know is that I am alone, and perhaps the hardest thing I can admit, I am the cause of some of my loneliness, because I sit here doing nothing. The phone is right fucking there. There are people I want to thank, and I haven't called a single one of them. A few hours ago, I could run toward a moving trolley. Tonight, I cannot reach for the fucking phone. I cannot explain that. Not tonight. Everything I was doing and everything I had accomplished suddenly feels so small, and some of the smallest moments another human being ever gave me feel fucking enormous. A touch, a laugh, someone listening, someone sitting beside me, someone making me feel less alone. And here I am, sitting by myself in Little Italy, sitting inside my imperfection, feeling my mortality, feeling how fucking human I am. Not the writer, not the advisor, not the father, not the mentor, not the man who ran toward the trolley. Just Peter. I don't know what to do with him tonight. Maybe I don't need to do anything. Maybe I simply need to sit with him. I don't fucking know. And perhaps that means doing something I almost never do. Putting down the fucking pen. I think the scribe needs to stop writing for a while. I don't know whether that means days, weeks, or longer. I just know I need some time to process my fucking life. Not write about it, not explain it, not turn every scar, every failure, every encounter, every strange fucking thought that shoots through my head into something another person might find useful. Just live it. Because tonight, there is a part of me wondering whether any of these thoughts matter to anybody anyway. Maybe they do, Maybe they don't. I don't fucking know. And perhaps for once I don't need to know. Then I look at the unfinished manuscript sitting in front of me. Love me. Please see me. I thought I was writing about the human condition. Tonight, sitting here alone, I realize something I don't completely know what to do with. I am the human condition. Imperfect, mortal, grateful, lonely, afraid, human. Maybe tomorrow the scribe will find meaning in all of this. Maybe months from now, maybe never completely. But tonight, the scribe is putting down his pen. There will be no lesson. There will be no clever ending. There will be no final piece of wisdom from some old fart pretending he understands this beautiful and fucked up mysterious thing we call life. I don't. Not tonight. Maybe I need to stop asking whether everything inside me has enough utility to give somebody else. Maybe I need to sit with Peter, not the writer, not the useful man, just the fucking human being, and figure out whether the man holding the pen matters, even when he has nothing left to write. I don't fucking know. And tonight, that is all I know. Peter J. Merrick. I am tired, and tonight, something Bette Davis, one of the great actresses of Hollywood's golden age, once famously said, keeps playing again and again in my head. Growing old ain't for sissies. Maybe she was right. Tonight, this old fart has nothing more to add.